Vice President Kamala Harris had a couple hurdles to clear when she spoke with NBC's Craig Melvin about what the Biden administration can do and maybe shift gears when it comes to the COVID-19 fight, considering we're still really deep in the middle of it. Is what she had to say.
6 former administration officials last week wrote that open letter urging the administration to change course, to change strategy. Is it time?
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree that there are things and tools that are available to us to slow this thing down.
She continued on, but it didn't really seem, we didn't know where she was going at that point. Unless maybe someone else did. But it did remind many folks of this particular meme, but it was on an episode of The Office, which I never watched the show. But it says, sometimes I'll start a sentence and I don't even know where it's going. I just hope I find it along the way. As our character there said, again, I'm sorry, I don't watch The Office. So there's that. Apparently it was a great moment, but really fast, again, maybe another uncommon opinion. I think the biggest problem here is she doesn't really seem to have much room to say what she really thinks. It sounds like there was something she wanted to say about how they should change direction or maybe do certain things a certain way from the beginning. And she has to toe this line. She seems like every time I see her speak, it seems like she's saying what they need her to say, not what she thinks or believes or has looked into or has experienced. And maybe I'm saying it wrong, maybe I'm being a little bit too easy on her, but that seems to be, and that's still within the Biden administration as a problem. So I wonder if I'm way off with giving her a little bit of leeway here on this and maybe just saying, hey, maybe she's not getting a chance to really be herself. Maybe that doesn't happen with any vice president except for Dick Cheney. I don't know.
Well, yeah, Dick Cheney also had issues with firearms. But as far as Kamala Harris goes, it's the fact that she is trying to probably stay on their agenda and to toe the line, which is unfortunately probably part of the administration, especially at a time when the country is absolutely vulnerable and we have this pandemic and we are in this kind of unprecedented. And which is really unfortunate because I think we expected a lot from her in terms of standing her ground, speaking her piece, and all of these great things. But I really think that the circumstances of the nation put her in this situation. And so she is putting that before her own personal desires and wishes. And I respect that.
I think, and I might be alone on this, but I think the biggest problem with the vice president's answer not going where you'd hope a question's answer would take you is when questions are asked, is people don't know how do questions get answered and where does a sentence go? And if you don't have a place for a sentence to go, then maybe the sentence won't go where you hope it do when every day you have a chance to end a sentence.
You're the worst. I was actually following that, ready for it to go somewhere. You happy? And it was rude.
There was 2 different times. At first, I was like, okay, he's going nowhere with this, and I'm gonna stay with him. Then I was like, wait a second, maybe he isn't. I should listen harder. Oh no, he's not.
I was actually thinking maybe Harris got lost, as in maybe she got distracted and then was like, so yeah.
This happens, and by the way, that does happen. And afterwards, and if you want to clarify it. I mean, it's 2022. There's many areas and arenas and platforms that you can announce and say what you really want to say. And I know it would, and maybe I'm one of the people that would say it. But if there was a clarifying statement and the answer of what she meant to say at that point, or what she was thinking about and just didn't get out because she's human, the broad, I think, response would be, yeah, sure, now an advisor or a handler just wrote that up for you. So you kind of only get one chance, and it's one of those important positions where it's tough, and you're gonna make a human either error or maybe you just weren't prepared, which both aren't the best of things. We'll see where this goes.
Which also,
go ahead.
Also, JR, is I just hope it reminds me of the Joe Rogan story. It's imperative for Joe Rogan to go and correct his statement on his podcast and say the statement about him being dumb and how cringy he was on the podcast, because it's also a cop-out, I think, to apologize on Twitter when an algorithm, even for someone like Joe, is showing that to maybe a few 100,000 people and not to 11 million. Go and own up to it on your own podcast. But yeah, during a live interview for the vice president, you only got one shot. It's kind of a mom spaghetti situation,
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.